Good morning. Okay, so we are doing Be Tactical with Big Ego. Be Tactical with Big Ego. So Be Tactical. I know this, you could use Blackout if you wanted, but I think that I have Be Tactical and I don't have Blackout, so we're going to use the blacks from Be Tactical. I think Be Tactical is one of those sets that if, I didn't check this morning, but it's been in stock, but it's one of those sets for solids, like that's pretty good because it's got white, gray, and black solids here in it. So it's one of those where if you wear it, it's a fun kind of look on its own, because you would have gray, white, and black nails. It's also a set that's nice because then you can mix and match these with your other sets. So you'll get a lot of uses from this one set. So it's one that I think that you guys should kind of bookmark as, hey, keep this in mind to add to your cart. So we'll be using the blacks for this look, and then Big Ego is a clear with a real pretty pink. Because I am going to want to be using a full nail on some of my nails, I'm going to be cutting those, so you'll see that. If you don't like to do that kind of work, then I suggest getting a set. It's not the same color, but it does have where the overlays like this and a full glitter strip. Those ones are helpful for a look like what we're going to do today with very minimal cutting or anything like that. So I'll show you what I'm going to do or how I do this in order to get a full glitter look from an overlay like this. So it's clear with the glitter on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, this is the size that fits my pinky. I want my pinky to be my full nail. I'm going to mark it where the full glitter starts, and then I'm going to just trace the tip here on the back so that I can make a cut. And I just trace it with a pen. Sometimes it's a little bit kind of waxy, so these are for both my nails. So let's get this here. Sometimes if I'm too far up when I do this, then you will have a little bit of clear by your nail, but so that's prepped for that. Now this one is actually going to be, I'm going to do reverse glitter. So this is the wrong size because I'm using the blacks, specifically just the blacks. Otherwise my nail, I believe it would be white if I did this, which is fine, it'd be just as pretty, but I want to do all black on this. So if I'm using a strip that is not the correct size, then I will have the correct size, which this is the correct size. Whoops. I'm so used to having to go up. I rearranged my camera so that way I'm not off camera, hopefully. And here I am going off camera. Trying to correct for that mistake all the time. So this will be the size, and then I want this one. This one is going to actually be a reverse. So we will be doing that. And I'll do that later, actually. I'll show you how I do that one. And then this one, we want full glitter on my pointer, which is this one. But I won't have enough because my pointer and my ring finger are both the same size. So if I do a full glitter here, then I'm going to have to do a whole different one. It's just easier if I turn this sideways and trace it. It gets you the same thing because my pointers are real short here. So we'll just do that. So we're going to place this in the middle. We're going to trace where the strip would be, and we will be cutting it. So it is a little bit more work here, but I really, it's got like a waxy, I don't know if it's really waxy or just the finish of the paper. It's not wanting to there. And again, this is just something I do because I want a specific look. This would look completely really beautiful just the way it is, the clear and the pink. I know that, but I always gotta do a little something fun for a little wow factor, you know? Just a little wow factor. So I feel like anyway. So that's gonna give us the full glitter. Did I get that? Let's see, did I get that right? Yeah, okay, I lined it like just right. See, if I'm not careful, I'm gonna have, oh, can't see, flipped it. The line here is like right here, so this edge might have this little thing, but it'll be fine. Okay, so we're all set for this that's pretty much all I need to do. I will need to trim this one when I go to apply it, just slightly, because it is a tad bit, what's it called? Wider for the nail that I use it for, but not a big deal. We are going to start at the beginning. Like always, it's been 2 weeks, so I want to make sure that I push back my cuticles here. As you can see right there, it's growing. I don't know if you can see the skin coming up right there. You don't want that on the nail. Then my strips will start lifting. So yesterday, I posted the last look, and it was 2 weeks. Now, honestly, I was hoping that the solid on my pinky would do better, but I kind of knew when I applied it that last 2 weeks ago, it was kind of lifted on the edge right here, and I debated about whether I should just leave it or if I should get a clear and put it down, because I knew that that's where the chipping was going to start, because if it's not flush with the nail, then it will not adhere to the nail, and you're just going to have that open space and it's going to chip. And I knew that that was going to happen because I knew I did not push very well down on the edge to seal it, and I could see that as it was drying it was lifted. So sometimes what I'll do is I will take a clear polish. Went and got one. This one I just got from the dollar store. I haven't had any interactions with it. It's a base top or paste coat or top coat, so I don't use it normally when I'm using my strips, but if I do have like a little area where it's lifting or something, or it's not sticking because of my bad application, because it happens, you're not perfect, you're gonna make mistakes, trust me. Anyways, alcohol swab. I'm busy talking and I'm gonna get the alcohol swab, and we need that. Here we go. Okay, so want to alcohol swab your nails after you push back your cuticles. Now I've trimmed them. If you can't tell from yesterday's post, I trimmed them. When they start to get longer, my nails chip, so I trimmed them to where they were pretty close to flush with the tips of my fingers, since I am going to be wearing these for 2 weeks. You saw in my picture yesterday that my pointer, it had a nice big chip in it. So, but the first 2 weeks, this last week's look, because we were doing the 2-week challenge, I wanted to show it just completely how they last without me doing any fixing up to make them look nice in between. So this time I'm going to be doing where I fix them up. So like if I get a chip, I am going to cut my nail so I don't have any more breakage or peeling. Sorry, I haven't had my coffee, so I'm drinking it while I'm doing my nails today. Whoops. See, I'm a little quirky without coffee. So, what was I saying? Yes, so I don't want to, so if there is lifting, I am going to use the clear to prevent that chipping, like we had such a big chip on my pinky the last time because it was getting caught in my daughter's hair. My daughter has curly hair, so if you're a curly hair person, you know that there's a lot of finger combing whenever you do work with curly hair. So the hair, because I had that edge that was lifted, it got right underneath it. Now, you know, I know those things are going to happen because it was lifting. So these are, I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you my little tips for little things that happen. Sometimes if it's just a slight lift, I just kind of go like that with my nail and it will crack off the dry part where it's adhered. But if it's a lot of lift, then you want to use this. Anyway, I'm going to go through and I'm going to talk about those things over the next 2 weeks, and I'm going to be showing you guys what I do so that you can have it look nice if you are going to be wearing them for the 2 weeks. There are people that do I shouldn't just say people like in generalization. I know one consultant and she's done a 30-day challenge and they look amazing. But of course, again, you're you're maintaining your nails, because you do want to maintain the tips. You want to keep them strong. You want to prevent any breakage, things like that. Okay, so see here, I got a little bit of that clear, so I actually want to do a little bit lower on that. I'm going to do a little bit lower here because, like I said, I didn't mark it. I'd rather have a full pink nail. And this is such a pretty pink. Such a pretty pink. Isn't that beautiful? I think it's beautiful. So you always, if you're going to be doing something like this where you're cutting it, I always take the clear off. Same thing, make sure you take the clear off before you apply it. So this is Big Ego. As you can see, it's a clear strip with that pink glitter. So when you put it on, when we're putting it on reversed on our ring finger, you're gonna see that it looks like, you're gonna see the black through it. No, I want you guys to look at this glitter. I don't know if you can see it or if it just looks pink. It's pink, but it's got some fun flecks in there. Maybe holographic, is that what you call it when it like shines different colors, the glitter? It is gorgeous. This is so gorgeous. Anyways, yeah, so I wanted to do this look that I'm doing today. I had thought about it, planned it, I guess you could say. Yeah, we're gonna go underneath this. We're gonna go underneath the little curve this time. I've wanted to do this look. I bought Big Ego when I was doing events earlier in the year, at the very beginning of the year, and it didn't sell. So I was actually pretty excited because I wanted to use it. So when I do my events in the wintertime, we get, like where I live, in the city I live in, we basically double in size during the winter because of our winter visitors. So they'll have events and stuff, the weather's cooler, things like that. So I will set up a table at those events. Let me use this to make sure I get those edges. Just because last week was such a, I gotta stop saying last week because it was 2 weeks, but this last look definitely didn't give it that. Okay, so do that, file off any excess to make sure. I'm not as close today. I hope that this works out for you guys to see. Camera focusing and stuff. Okay, now I'm gonna use this one. Trim it so it's the correct size. So I was excited that Big Ego didn't sell. Well, I mean, I would have just ordered it, I guess, again. I could have done that, but it's always nice when something comes along that works out. Okay, so we just cut off that little excess. That's because this isn't quite the right strip, but we did trace it with the one that's the correct size. Now we'll get the black. So this, you could also use blackout for this. You don't have, I'm using Be Tactical, but we have an all black set called Blackout. I believe it's sold out, and you'll notice that sometimes like a full solid set like that will sell out, and then I'm just being really cautious about this here because I really want these to stick. I want to show you guys a good 2 weeks where you applied them right and not in a hurry. You're not taking those steps. So yeah, always make sure that they're nice and flush on the nail. No sticking up or anything, because then they're gonna dry and not cure to the nail, and then you'll be bummed when they lift like mine did. Okay, but if I have any lifting today, I will. Whoopsie. Let's try it this way. If I have any lifting today, I will definitely be using the clear. I left a little bit of gap, but that's okay because we're going to be overlaying this one, so I'm not too worried about it. These ones are going on very, very nice. So the last time I had blackout, or the last time I used a black, it was blackout, and it was like the third time or fourth time. And as they get kind of, you open them and stuff, they get a little bit stiffer. They're not as flexible and nice. This one is like super nice and flexible, just going on so nice. So that's nice. Okay. Going on very nice. It's always a good feeling. Put something on and it just goes on nice. Or you're cooking and it just comes together. I don't know, maybe. Oh no, I made a chip on that. Oh well. Okay. I just did that. So when we take our pictures, it's not from the 2 weeks, it's me, because I was on top instead of parallel. Remember how I say go parallel to the nail, because if you go on top, you'll take off the strip? Well, that's exactly what I did. I mean, if you want to have it an even look, then I guess I could just go like this and take off that, whoops, the little part, but it's getting it shorter, and I don't really like my nails to be that short. There we go. Okay, so that way it gives that look of no chips to start out. I don't want it to look like I chipped my nail because I can't file right. There we go. Okay. Okay, so this one is my middle finger. I always have to trim it just a slight bit because it is a slight wider. So I always just kind of come here and trim just the tiniest little bit. Super little tiny sliver, but there's not a size in between these two. So see, this is the size that goes on my ring finger, and then the size that I use for my middle needs to be a tad bit wider than this one, but not quite as wide. So you can see it's got a tiny little sliver, and then that's how wide it is before. Anyways, so that's gonna be for when we get done. Okay. So if you're just jumping on, I am doing the wrong nail. If you're just jumping on, you're watching me make mistakes. Welcome. We are doing Be Tactical. We're just using the solid blacks from Be Tactical. It's a little bit too wide right here still. I use nice and thin enough to crack with that. Yes, you are. Ooh, I am really liking Be Tactical. It's been very, very pleasant today. I've never used Be Tactical before. I've used Blackout, but it is a fresh pack, just opened, and it is just going on very nicely. It just is sticking to the nail. It's just one of those. Or I'm in a good mood because I'm drinking my coffee. And we're doing our nails. It's a good Thursday. Now let's see. Okay. It's just this little bit is not, when I trim it like this, sometimes the it's crooked. Come on, don't be crooked. Don't be crooked. That's even worse, crooked. Oh my goodness. And I'm not even on camera. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Well, I guess my new setup's not working as good as I thought it was going to. I thought I have a tendency to pull closer to me, so I'm not on camera. So I switched the camera so that you can see, and then now I'm okay. Is it overhanging or is it gonna stick? I'm gonna stick. Or do I need to trim you? Okay, this one's not gonna have an overlay, so I really don't want it to. There. Okay. I did go down. Okay. Let's make sure we put these nice and down. Okay. There we go. Did I already file? Yeah, I filed that one. These ones are just. So I am going to recommend be tactical like a million times during this live. Just be aware. So this is be tactical in case you're just jumping on and you didn't know which ones. It's whites, grays, and blacks all in one set. So it's a mixed, and they're solids. There's no glitter, but I think it's a really great one to have. Be very cute on its own, just if you did solids, but I think it's a great one because it's good for having the solids you need without having to buy 3 sets for those colors. You're gonna have it. Okay, so we're there, and then we're gonna do full glitter, and then we'll be doing the reverse on my ring finger. So we're gonna cut this. We've traced it. If you didn't see it, you can go back to the beginning or watch the replay. Facebook now has a feature where you can rewind while someone's live, but I don't think I turned it on. I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I think I clicked off of it. So I don't think I started this where you could rewind. So you'll have to actually wait for me to finish and then do the replay. But that's kind of a cool feature that you can rewind during the live, because if you're like me, sometimes you just, I think I did that too then. If you're like me, sometimes you pop on late and you miss something, and then you're going, what's going on? And you're playing catch up, but yeah. Okay. So this is Big Ego, but we want a full glitter nail. Now this is the other way to do it. So this time on the pinky, we trimmed the clear and just moved it up. For the pointer, we are turning one of the larger strips sideways because it's enough to cover. Now, obviously, if you have longer nails, turning it sideways is not gonna be an option for you, maybe. But isn't this glitter pretty? It's a real fine, pretty glitter. I was looking to see if I had Punch Drunk. I don't think this matches Punch Drunk. I feel like it's a little bit finer glitter and a tad bit different colors. I don't know. I don't think it matches Punch Drunk. It's definitely, because sometimes I like to say, okay, but if you wanted to just do like where you didn't have to do all the cutting, you could just get it. I mean, you could do Punch Drunk, but I don't think Punch Drunk has the colors that are in here. See how it's kind of got holographic? Punch Drunk didn't quite look like this on when I tried it, when I wore it. Yeah. So, but pink and black, who doesn't love pink and black together? I don't know. I always like the two together. It's kind of a fun, and especially this bright pink, it's like a fun contrast. Is that, yeah, that's fine. Make sure that I'm not in the clear here. So we've just traced the correct size strip on the back that we want from this one. Again, you could do a look like this. It won't be the pinks, but if you get Motherload is the name of the set, and I'm not sure if it's in stock. I forgot to look. I like to look before I start recommending things because it's kind of, to me, it's disappointing whenever you go, ooh, that sounds awesome, and then you go to a website and then it's out of stock and you're waiting for it. I mean, I will let you know if it's something that's out of stock and you guys want it. Just let me know, hey, I'm looking for this one. Let me know when it comes back in, and I'll keep my eyes open for you. But, so I really like to look before I come live and tell you guys, and I forgot to do that this morning. I was a little sidetracked this morning, getting my daughter ready for school. I wanted to try a new hairdo on her, like nothing extremely fancy or whatever. She has this thing where she's always wanting to be in a braid. This year she's let me do 2 braids and ponytails. So today I wanted to do 2 braids that wrapped around a ponytail. Nothing like super fancy or anything, but I just took me a while longer than I thought, because if you were listening earlier, she has curly hair, so it's a little bit of a, she's still pretty young, so she's only in 1st grade, but she's very I guess you would say active. She's always running around, so she gets her hair tangled so bad, so I always have to have it in a braid or back somehow, because otherwise the tangles just, it's really hard. And we do a lot of conditioner and wetting, and she's just a very active little girl, and it's not a bad thing, you know. She's a kid, so that's how it is. But oh, this is the one I need. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'm looking for this is my ring finger, so we're gonna do this reverse, so I'll show you guys how to do that. Anyway, finish my thought. Yeah, so I just have to do that. And so this morning I spent a little bit longer on her hair because it involved parting and sectioning and just, yeah. Anyway, I'm still learning that stuff. Whenever I try something new, I think I always do it the harder way than it has to be. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this reverse. So when you apply this as an overlay, if I was to put it on, then the pink would be on the tip. I want the pink to be coming down so that the clear is on the tip. So we're gonna flip it and do a reverse. Now there's different ways you can do this. Some people will just take the strip and they will cut it, and then they will put it on, and then they will use a, okay, so they might cut it in half and then put it on where they want, and then they'll use a cuticle stick to go around the edge to get it to perforate, and then clean that up and just file off the excess. And that's one way you can do it. I don't like to do that because I don't know if you can tell what happened. It's very light, you can barely see it, and I'm not gonna worry about it because it's stuck nicely. So as long as there's no lifting or anything, I might put a clear over it. When I was making sure that little edge wasn't on my skin, you can see just slightly there, the cuticle stick made a jab. So I feel like it doesn't always, sometimes I'm a little too rough because of the delicateness of this, so I feel like it's better to do it the way I'm going to show you. For me. Now, if you have gentle hands and you can get around it and you can do that, then you're more than welcome to do the cut, place it on. And I say cut because if you just take it off and put it on and then do it, it might ruin the whole strip, and I still want to use this strip for 2 nails, so that's why I'm going to cut it. Okay, so we're going to cut it about, where does it need to be? Right about there. Okay, we're gonna cut it right here in the middle. Again, we've taken off the clear. Now what we need to do is round this tip here. So we're going to cut, and we're going to, because I want it to be able to just take off and apply just like a strip. So I want to round this edge here like I would with, like it would be. Oh, come on, little pen. For some reason, every time I start this out, it's like it doesn't want to. Right, okay. So we're just going to cut off those sharp edges to round it, and we're using this as a guide. So that's going to be the one side, and then we're going to flip over. Now, this one is a shorter nail, so it's fine. If you have longer nails, then you will have to use 1 strip instead of 2. That might just be how it is for you. So so great in this, but I think it'll be fine. Okay, now I'm going to go here on this side, do the same thing. Now I could have done this easier where I didn't have to use the same strip and just got in another one from a different setting, but I resealed my sets before I even came live because I didn't want them to dry out, because I want to be able to use these ones again. Like I said, I don't want them to be tactical. Is really amazing. I love that it has those different colors in it. I have a lot of potential for it. And then Big Ego, I am loving this glitter. So I made sure that I pulled out what I needed and I resealed them right away because I didn't want them to just sit there. Sometimes I have a habit of just waiting to reseal them, and I'm like, oh, I'll reseal them when I'm done with my life. But then I noticed that those are the sets that when I go to reopen them, they're just not quite as good as the first time I used them. So, okay, so this is what ends up happening. So we've cut it and rounded it. So now your clear is going to be at the bottom. So we're going to have this come here, right there. Now, as you can see, my nail is super short. So you see barely any of the black on that, barely, but it's fine. It's fine. I probably could have cut it a little bit more towards the middle and had more. So we'll see how the other nail does. Now, I recommend overlays on solids because, like you said, like you saw last week, my solid pinky kind of had a little bit of a lift. The hair caught under it. The one that was the nail art, you can see that it did wear a little bit on the tips. Now, if you're doing a solid and you want a little bit added protection, when you put an overlay like this, where it's a clear over it, you're getting it like a double layer, so it will last a little bit longer than, yes, baby, I know, my cat. It will last a little bit longer because you've got that clear that's going to be worn away first before the black. So you might notice this time when we do our 2 weeks, you might see more wearing on these solid blacks than on this black that has the overlay. So we'll see how it works. Okay, now we're going to go over here and flip it, and yeah, I don't know how this is going to work, but we'll see, because I kind of probably did it too short on this side, I think, since I have so much pink on the other side, but I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. Okay. Yes, yes, baby. I know. My cat says, what are you doing over here? Oops. So there we go. So now you can see I don't have as much pink. I have more clear on this side, and I think I laid it too high up because I think that's gonna be on the skin. See if I can push that down onto the nail underneath a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Okay, there we go. It went nice center. Okay, so now let's, did I file this one already? I think I did. File this one. Now this one, the perforation was right there, so when I went to file it, it cut off. So the clear didn't even go to the tip. So we'll see how this one works out on our 2 week. This might be funny. Anyway, okay. So far this is what we've got. We've got Big Ego over the black from Be Tactical, and then we're going to get Be Tactical on the thumb. So just finish this up. It's pretty and pink. It's real simple, pretty look. Probably made it more complicated than it had to be, but that's me. Smooth that down nice and well. Like I said, we don't want any edges lifted here. Such pretty black. Okay, and then we're gonna have 2 weeks of this, so we'll see how well this does. Mixing this up. My little short nails. But I like to keep them short whenever I'm doing these longer things because I have a tendency to crack my nails when they get to a certain length, you know. It's one of the tips for growing longer nails is if you notice they break at a certain length, always keep them trimmed below that length so you know they can strengthen. And then you don't have to worry about them. It's my weird thumbnail. I broke that one too. Okay, so there we go. This is my little garbage mess here. So there we go. This is Big Ego and Be Tactical together. So Big Ego looks like this. It's a clear with pink, and Be Tactical is our mix set. So these two together made this. And of course you could get a whole bunch of different other looks, but for right now, this is the look we're doing, and stay tuned for how they do for 2 weeks. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, please make sure to ask.